The following live stream has been pre-recorded. Any special weather reports or tornado warnings that are present during this program should be checked within 30 minutes from your local television stations. Thank you. The following edition of AJ&E News is an extended broadcast.
Powered by Riverside FM. Powered by Riverside FM.
Live from Riverside, this is AJ&E News. Now reporting, AJ Baker and Ethan Jakowski. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is AJ Baker. Ethan is off doing his schoolwork at school since it is a Friday afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm already stumbling on my words this afternoon. Welcome into the newscast. We did plan one newscast for yesterday evening, but that did not go so well. Some of our staff have been ill with illnesses, so we have been off for most of this week, but we're back. First, I just wanted to start off by saying a couple things. First, we at AJ&E, excuse me, we at AJ&E strive to give news productions and news reporters the credit when deserved. At AJ&E, our greatest responsibility is to serve you, the viewer, with the highest quality, balanced news possible. And we are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that we produce here at AJ&E. And if we ever report on any, and if either me or Ethan make any accidental slip-ups or accidentally report something that is not accurate, we tell you. I collect all the stories, so I make sure to check it with multiple creditable sources before I put it out on the air. The work behind the scenes is very strenuous, but it is for our viewers, our viewers' best interest. So I just wanted to open up with that a little bit. And thank you so much for your understanding of that. All right, now we get to the news. A lot of this was, again, we had planned one for last night, so a lot of these are news clips from last night, but okay, it's still being covered. We will do an evening news broadcast this evening, but I just want to cover the things that were supposed to be covered last night. We have a lot of extended news stories. Of course, you heard that extended broadcast thing at the beginning once again. This may not be much as an extended broadcast, but this is just letting you know that this may take longer than possible. Anyway, our first story, obviously, we start off with those devastating tornadoes that have been blowing through Mississippi, pretty much throughout the whole state. They have suffered deeply. A lot of homes are destroyed. A lot of schools have been closed for a long amount of time, and there's been a lot of damage. So reporting on this, we have live now from Fox reporting on this story.
And welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. We appreciate everyone continuing to join us. We're bringing you some of the day's biggest top stories and headlines. I'm your host, Mike Page. Next up, we want to talk about some wicked, wild weather out in Mississippi. Fox Weather reporting a powerful tornado tore through a mobile home park in Mississippi late last night. By sunrise, the full extent of the damage came into view. Piles of debris and widespread destruction captured in stunning drone footage. Very, very unfortunate for the people there in Mississippi. We want to continue to talk about this story, and let's go out live right now to Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell joining us in Mississippi with some of the destruction behind you here.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, we bring you to Bogachita, Mississippi, and southern Mississippi, and to a mobile home community called The Wash. This is where there were about 20 to 30 homes, and people were here. It was late at night. Some folks just getting home, some having dinner when this tornado struck around 8 o'clock p.m. The National Weather Service out of Jackson, Mississippi, also issued a tornado emergency, which is the highest level of a warning, noting they saw a large debris ball signature on radar and that it was lofting high into the atmosphere about 2 miles, just really signifying how strong the tornado was. So as you take a look around, I'm going to get out of the way so you can see most of the mobile homes here have been just completely demolished and leveled. And so at this point, people have just been sifting through. There are still families here doing that, just trying to find and save what they can. Some people asking for help to look around for important documents. I even see some folks have set aside medicine that they did find. It's things like that that are important, of course, for our well-being. Throughout the day of our reporting here, I've met many of the residents who wrote it out, emotional about what they went through last night, recounting where they hid, some of them in closets. Some of them did not even have time to react and hide as their trailers flipped over. I actually met one woman, and if we can, Mark, I'll get you to pan off and show the trailer in the far back corner of this mobile home community. It's actually flipped completely upside down. She said the trailer flipped a few times before it landed, and now she says they have some stitches. So I want to actually play some sound from one of the residents who was here as it happened. Take a listen.
It happened so fast. It's like it just got quiet and calm, and then the wind picked up, and then I was like, y'all, let's take cover, and we got under my bar, and I started to cover over them, and then it just started shaking, and then it started lifting us up, and then we just flipped, and we flipped and ended up nothing. Thank God, nothing fell on us, but we ended up walking on the ceiling.
All right, and that was Kaylee Hubbard. She told me they actually moved here a month ago, Mike, and unfortunately this is what they're going through. So thankfully they are here today to talk about their story. She said she had stitches. Her grandchild ended up getting stitches. Her daughter sprained her ankle, but, it's just an amazing story to see what they went through, and, we're able to walk out okay. Another thing, Mike, I'll mention, the governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, he said 17 people were injured. The best news of this situation is no one was killed due to the damage of that large, or I should say strong, tornado. I also spoke with somebody from the National Weather Service as they were doing their damage assessments here, and he said it's most likely going to be an EF2 rated tornado, according to the damage that they're seeing. And he did mention there was one location where transmission towers were taken down, where that might be EF3 rated, or an EF3 rated tornado, according to that damage. Back to you.
Yeah, Brandy, you nailed it there with the, at least there was no deaths associated here. When you see some of the destruction there,
all right, that was Live Now from Fox reporting on that story. Thank you so much for reporting on that for us. All right, our next set of stories is going to be one of multiple extended stories, meaning that we have multiple sources covering different updates on the story. But they are still within the same, they still have the same accurate information as I mentioned in the opening statement. Okay, now this is mainly over the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, searching a Virginia senator's home. That Virginia senator is Luis Lucas, after an anonymous tip from the FBI. We have 3 stories on this, 2 update, 1 initial story, 1 update, and a timeline of that entire situation for you. But we start out with ABC 7, West Virginia.
Now, also in Virginia, the FBI searched the office of the Virginia State Senate leader, Luis Lucas. They also searched a cannabis outlet in Portsmouth that is owned by Lucas, and sources tell us this is all part of a corruption investigation. 7 News' Nick Minot joining us now live from Stafford County, where Governor Abigail Spanberger is today. And Nick, is the governor commenting on any of this?
Yeah, she is, Scott. I spoke to her about an hour ago here in Stafford County. We'll bring that to you in a moment, but first take a look at this video from this morning. The FBI searched the Portsmouth office of Virginia State Senator Louise Lucas as a part of a corruption and bribery investigation, which was launched under the Biden administration, according to my sources. It's important to know the timeline because some Democratic lawmakers like Speaker Don Scott and others are insinuating this investigation is retribution for Lucas's support for the recent redistricting referendum in Virginia. Now, this morning, an armored FBI vehicle and agents in body armor were seen outside the cannabis outlet down the block from Lucas's office, which the senator owns and opened in 2021. Video also shows several people being taken into custody by the FBI. We understand the search warrants were approved by a federal judge, and the FBI said there is no threat to the public, and this is an ongoing investigation. After more than 30 years in the Virginia legislature, Senator Lucas is one of the most powerful politicians in the Commonwealth. She is currently leading a budget standoff with Governor Spanberger over tax breaks for data centers, and her influence helped tank former Governor Glenn Youngkin's proposal to bring a sports arena to Alexandria. She was first elected in 1991. She is the Senate president and chair of the powerful Senate Finance and Appropriation Committee, and she has long been one of the Commonwealth's leading proponents of legalizing marijuana. Like I said, I spoke to Governor Spanberger a moment ago about this FBI raid. Here's what she told us. Welcome back to Stafford County. I want to talk to you about what's happening a few hours away. Senator Louise Lucas's home, our office rather, was raided by the FBI. At this point, do you stand by the senator, or are you concerned? Because our sources are telling us this is about bribery and corruption.
Well, certainly I am aware of the law enforcement action that occurred in Portsmouth, and I am awaiting more details to become public before weighing in with any strong public comment. And as more information becomes available, I look forward to making further comment.
Now, I have texted and called and left messages for Senator Louise Lucas asking for comment about what happened at her office. She has not responded yet. Reporting live in Stafford County, Nick.
Okay, thank you, Nick. That was ABC 7 West Virginia reporting on that story for us initially. Thank you. You may have heard as a part of that this initially started back in 2020. We do have an update and kind of more information on how that sort of started. And with that update and that new information, we have ABC 13 News now.
13 News Now at 4 begins with breaking news. I'm Janet Roach.
And I'm Connor Reel. There's a new development in today's FBI raid at the Portsmouth office of State Senator Louise Lucas. Sources tell ABC News that this investigation began during the Biden administration.
Yeah, it involves allegations of potential corruption and bribery tied to marijuana dispensaries.
Our crews have been in Portsmouth since agents got on scene this morning. Madison Schlegel is live there now. Madison, how is the community feeling tonight?
Concern is what we're hearing for Senator Louise Lucas from those community members who are watching that raid unfold today. For much of the day today, this parking lot behind me was filled with agents. And as you can see, those agents are still here doing much of that work, that investigating that they said was going to happen right here at Senator Louise Lucas's office and a business that was right next door. So this is the scene right now, but we want to show you what it looked like a little earlier, too. So we only saw federal agents here, no local law enforcement. So Portsmouth Police was here briefly today just to scan the crowd of bystanders, but those officers left a while ago. But what we have seen here are FBI agents in both Senator Louise Lucas's office and the cannabis outlet, which is right next door. So we know that back in 2022, Senator Louise Lucas announced that she was opening this cannabis shop up. But for those who are out here watching that raid today, they tell us that they came out here to support Senator Lucas and the work that she's done for the community.
we are definitely aching. The city of Portsmouth has gone through so many trials and tribulations. We have the tolls, we have things that are going on in the city, and the person that is here to try to represent us, now she is being federally investigated on something of allegations which we don't know of.
I'm actually the cousin of William Chapman, who got killed by the Portsmouth police. And Senator Lucas was the first one that stood behind us. So when I heard it, it broke my heart.
Now, some of those people that we've spoken with today tell us they saw the FBI put some people in handcuffs and took them away. We've reached out to the FBI to get more details on that, but they haven't been able to release any more information. On top of that, we've also reached out to Senator Louise Lucas's office to get more information or comment about this investigation. We've not yet heard back. Live in Portsmouth, Madison Schlegel, 13 News Now.
Excuse me, that was 13 News Now reporting on that story. Thank you for that update regarding that story. Now, for more information, we have more of a timeline constructed for you for that piece of the story. Here's Wave 10 News.
Do have team coverage on this story, which we broke yesterday. Even though many questions do remain today, we have cobbled together a timeline of events. 10 on your side's Michael Rinker has that part of the story.
Wednesday morning, agents with the FBI raided State Senator Louise Lucas's main office here in Portsmouth on County Street, but also right next door is a cannabis business that she is a co-owner of that was the target of the raid as well. A rainy Thursday morning at the Lucas Professional Center, some back at the building that was the center of a federal raid Wednesday. Multiple reports stated it is part of a corruption probe that started during the Biden administration. Yesterday, 10 on your side asked the daughter of Louise Lucas what was going on.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Don't know. You'll find out when we find out. Yeah. But it's devastating for our individuals who have developmental disabilities to have to go through this today, and our staff, to not know what's going on.
Now the Washington Post, through their sources, say it's tied to allegations of bribery connected to Lucas's cannabis shop, the Cannabis Outlet. But the specifics remain unclear. So what comes next?
I'm not sure what will happen next. I think we probably will get some details soonish, but we may be waiting for a little while. You have a raid. Now there's the question of what happens with the materials from that raid, the material collected after the search.
Last night, Louise Lucas responded. She believes that this was politically motivated, saying, quote, "Today's actions by federal agents are about far more than one state senator. They are about power and who is allowed to use it on behalf of the people. What we saw fits a clear pattern from this administration. When challenged, they try to intimidate and silence the voices who stand up to them." Again, this is an ongoing story, and as we learn new details about the center of these raids, you can follow the latest over on our website, wavy.com. In Portsmouth, Michael Rinker, 10 on your side.
All right, that was Michael Rinker with 10 on your side, Wave 10 News. Thank you for reporting on that story for us. That would end off that extended story. Now we jump right into another extended story that has to deal with a situation in Charlotte, North Carolina, after the Charlotte mayor, Mayor Vi Lyles, has put in her resignation, and her resignation has been accepted by the Senate Board of Charlotte. First, we have three stories on this. Once again, we have just initial reporting, we have community reaction, and then we have an exclusive interview from WCNC about concerns about the future of Charlotte. But to start off, we have Queen City News reporting on the initial story.
Good morning, everyone. Jason Harper along with Annie Satowski. We start this final hour with breaking news. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles announcing that she will not seek re-election in 2027 and will resign effective this June 30th.
Lyles said that she is stepping aside to allow a new generation of leaders to take over and to spend more time with her grandchildren. Lyles was first elected mayor in 2017. She's spent more than 30 years in Charlotte city government, with her service as mayor preceded by 2 terms on city council. This includes service as mayor pro tem from 2015 to 2017. She also worked as a budget analyst, budget director, and assistant city manager. She is Charlotte's first Black female mayor.
In a statement, Mayor Lyles says, quote, "Serving as Charlotte's mayor has been the honor of my life. I am proud of our record navigating various challenges, strengthening our economy, investing in our neighborhoods, and building a foundation for Charlotte's continued success during a time of rapid growth. Now it's time for the next phase of my life, to spend more time with my grandchildren and for someone new to lead us forward." Lyles also noted that the city is in the capable hands of a strong city manager and staff, which gives her great confidence in the decision to resign early in this term.
Mayor Lyles said she is not willing to make any immediate endorsements of a potential successor just yet. We'll have much more on this big news throughout the morning here and online at qcnews.com.
Okay, that was the morning team at Queen City News reporting on that story. Just the initial reporting from her resignation, and thank you so much for that. Next, we have community reaction. These next 2 pieces are from WCNC News, but the piece here we have is community reaction. So with that, here's WCNC News.
Lyles, who became Charlotte's first Black female mayor in 2017, says she is serving as Charlotte's mayor has been the honor of her life, adding that she is ready to spend more time with her grandchildren and let a new generation of leaders take over. WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards joins us live this morning from the Government Center in Uptown. And Destiny, this was an unexpected announcement.
Yeah, it was. We haven't heard yet from Mayor Lyles herself, but we have heard from her fellow council members like Luana Mayfield and Malcolm Graham this morning, and they say they respect her decision to step down. And while they don't always agree on everything, they don't always see eye to eye, they spoke highly of her track record as mayor, her leadership, and they're grateful for her service to the city of Charlotte. Now, a spokesperson for Mayor Lyles says after more than 30 years in city government, it's time for a new chapter. The reason? To spend more time with her grandchildren. According to a statement released this morning, Lyles believes it's the right time for the next generation of leaders to take over. When it comes to any other reason why she may be stepping down, council members we spoke with refrained from speaking on behalf of the mayor. Luana Mayfield says she wishes Lyles would have finished out her term, but appreciates her decision to stick with council through the end of the fiscal year to work on the next budget.
I assume that she made the best decision for her and her family. I'm going to look forward to these next 30 days. I'm still going to push her on things that I think we need to be pushed on, but I'm going to respect the fact that she made a decision and she made a definitive decision, so there's no ambiguity in the what ifs.
Now, as for the next steps, council members will start having those will replace Mayor Lyles come July 1st. That's after June 30th when she said she would resign. And that could be a decision that's made internally. It could be one where the public is brought in. But Mayfield did tell us that she prefers someone not currently sitting on city council to fulfill that role. Of course, this is a developing situation. We'll keep tracking updates for you throughout the day. Live.
Okay, that was one member of the team at WCNC News. Thank you so much for reporting on that. Now we have sort of an extended interview after concerns about the future of Charlotte's economy and just the future of Charlotte in general. For that, again, we have an exclusive interview with WCNC News.
Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles announcing today that she will not seek re-election and will resign from office effective June 30th. So that will end her tenure that began nearly 10 years ago, back in 2017 when she was first elected. We've gotten reaction from local leaders, state leaders, and here with us now, Julie Kay, covering all things politics with us today. Julie, it has been an interesting day. You spoke with a lot of people as well. Just walk me through what you have so far and who said what.
Yeah, it's been a hectic day for sure. I'm still at the government center, but I'm in my car because we've been driving back and forth to get to different interviews. Because everyone wants to congratulate Vi Lyles on, I mean, not just 10 years in office here nearly, but 30 years of public service, most of which to the city of Charlotte. And so just such an impact that she has made here, even in the last year or so. Everyone's highlighting, of course, her seeing the transit tax through, for those big projects that are coming up. That has really been championed by her. She's sticking through June 30th, so she will help see the budget process through. She's got a lot of experience in that department, and so everyone seems pretty thankful that she'll be here through the end of the fiscal year and the start of the new one. But of course, now everyone's looking at, what's next? What is the process? When do they begin that? And so I think the most interesting interview I've done so far was with Mayor Pro Tem James Mitchell, obviously also a current council member. And he said that he is very confident they will have someone in place by July 1st. So the current council has to appoint someone to fill her role for the next year and a half. I mean, it's interim, but that is still a significant chunk of her tenure or of that term that they would have to fill. And so it's a very important role to fill. They're going to start those discussions probably internally, of course, immediately, but they aren't going to unveil their process likely publicly until the first week of June. Now, of course, we've got a huge council meeting coming up next Monday where we're talking about data centers and I-77, another data center situation happening 2 weeks after that. And so that's why he's saying first week of June is likely when they'll have all their ducks in a row. But he's hoping that everyone can get on the same page. From other interviews I've done, I think it seems like everyone seems to be leaning towards someone not currently on council to fill that role. For one reason of many people probably want that seat eventually or want to run for that seat formally when that time comes around in a year and a half. Otherwise, just because then they have to fill that seat as well, logistical thing too. So they'd have to, go back if they appoint someone to the mayor's position, they'd have to fill that district seat as well. And so it just becomes complicated from there. Things could still change. It's incredibly early. He told me he got it confirmed at 6:30 this morning. That's when she called him. And so people are still processing the news, wanting to offer their congratulations before really the process begins. But I'm hoping we learn more about that, Nick, in the coming weeks.
Yeah, Julie, to your point, to somebody who comes from outside of council, I mean, this could be an audition. Because that's still a good chunk of time before her term were to run out. But yeah, again, we will see. Still some time until we'll see who that person will be. Still some things that need to unfold. Again, we're just hours into this news, so a lot of things need to shake out. Julie, I won't hold you up, but we will see Julie at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock this evening. Julie Kay, covering all things politics. Julie, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay, that was Julie. Thank you, Julie, for reporting on that. That was an exclusive interview from WCNC on their WCNC Plus channel. I know that they mentioned on there that data centers would be important in their state. Well, our next extended story has to do with data centers in Arizona. So far, 3 data centers have been proposed to Arizona. 2 of them have been accepted, but one of them is causing controversy after initially more than 2,300 Arizonans have petitioned against this Arizona data center. For both of these stories, we have Fox 13 Utah, Fox 13 Arizona, excuse me. But the first story that we have is the people's reaction, the citizens' reaction, and then we have the state's reaction to all of this. So first, here is the citizens' reactions. With that, here's Fox 13 News.
Stratus Project representatives say they're working to secure the rights to 13,000 acre-feet of water in the Hansel Valley area of Box Elder County. But for just one of those water rights, a change application submitted by a private landowner has drawn more than 2,400 formal protest filings and counting. I talked with Rob Dubuque last week about the data center after he filed a protest on behalf of Friends of the Great Salt Lake.
It's impressive, I guess, at one level. Scary at another.
The application is filed by Bar H Ranch, which holds 1,900 acre-feet of water. He said he wants to see studies and designs that support the change.
Show us the studies, show us the design, prove it.
More than 1,000 letters like his have come in just since yesterday. The application shows the water will primarily be used for power generation at a natural gas power plant, with some also going to the data center. Stratus representatives claim that with their closed-loop system, their usage will be even less than what is currently used for agricultural purposes. The application says there will be no consumptive loss for the Salt Wells stream, which is the source of this water right, but Dubuque is skeptical.
There's a misunderstanding on what constitutes Great Salt Lake. A groundwater aquifer that feeds into the lake is absolutely critical.
In the wake of county commissioners approving the project to move forward, celebrity backer Kevin O'Leary spoke out on social media.
Well, I'm actually the only developer of data centers on Earth that graduated from environmental studies.
So he says he's aware of the various environmental concerns at play.
We can also put a percentage of the power generation through solar, wind, and batteries because the battery technology is 10x more efficient than it was just 5 years ago.
But he also claimed the concerns being raised aren't coming from Utahns. Yet the ever-growing list on the Division of Water Rights website show many people with Utah addresses filing protests. The protest period for the water right ends tonight. A hearing has been requested by Dubuque and others who filed, but it's not yet clear if the Division of Water Rights will decide to hold one. I'm Jeremy Toms reporting for Fox 13 News, Utah.
Okay. I know I did mention earlier that if I did make a mistake, I would correct it. So I apologize. That was in Utah. The issue is in Utah. So that was Fox 13 News Utah reporting on that story. Thank you so much. Initially from the public's reaction. Now we have more information about the state and the Senate reaction to this whole ordeal. With that, again, we have Fox 13 News Utah.
A stunning number of objections have been filed to the proposed data center project. More than 3,800 formal protests have been lodged, another 2,000 letters of concern submitted. The state engineer begins to review all of this and decide whether the project should get the water. And she spoke to me about what happens next.
Right now, all of our staff is all hands working on this, trying to get the information put on the record so that it's public and transparent.
Teresa Wilhelmsen is the one who decides if the proposed data center in Box Elder County gets water. Right now, the Stratus project has applied to take 1,900 acre-feet of water. That's the equivalent of a farm. It's expected there will be more applications filed.
Every protestant, every application we take very seriously.
While Governor Spencer Cox is a vocal supporter of the data center project,
there are many unknowns about the proposed data center that are very troubling.
Many who object to the project were at a forum about the Great Salt Lake on Wednesday. They have significant concerns about energy and consumption and overall environmental impact given its proximity to the Great Salt Lake.
Clearly, the public is not happy with this decision. I think it's obvious that people are getting the message about where we are and what we need to be doing with Great Salt Lake and how this is counterproductive to all of that effort.
The state engineer says she cannot speak to the merits of the application, but her power lets her review it, consider the protests, and decide to reject or deny it based on Utah water law.
We may schedule what's called an administrative hearing. It's not a public meeting, it's an administrative hearing where the state engineer can gather additional information from the applicant and protestants that are parties to the application.
Regardless of what she decides,
they can seek administrative relief by asking the state engineer to reconsider that decision. If they're still not satisfied, they can take it to district court.
There's another factor to consider.
Absolutely, we're watching the data center. We know that's been a very hot topic.
The Great Salt Lake Commissioner's Office, tasked by Utah political leaders with saving the lake, has some power under state law to put up roadblocks.
There's been a ton of information and a ton of misinformation. So we're working with our partners, especially like our Division of Water Rights, working with them to get accurate information on what the impacts of the data center really will be before we make any big decisions.
On Utah's Capitol Hill, Representative Doug Owens has filed a bill for environmental review of future data centers. State law currently doesn't require any.
The impacts on human health, dust, water usage, we've got a lake we're trying to make sure we rescue up here.
And if this isn't enough, there are other issues that may need to be addressed before the Stratus project even gets off the ground, including air quality, water quality, and other issues that may pop up. In Salt Lake City, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
That was Ben Winslow of Fox 13 News. Thank you so much for reporting on that story. Again, data centers are becoming a big part in this country, and both the public and the state should have some say in whether it stays or it goes. Anyway, continuing this afternoon, many people are reacting after Susan Collins reveals that she has been battling a benign tumor for some time. For more information on this story, we have NBC Boston.
Now turning to a Maine senator, Susan Collins, more specifically her health this afternoon. Anyone who's watched the senator for any length of time can plainly see there is a subtle tremor at times with her voice in her hands and certainly in her head.
Yeah, and for the first time in 30 years, Senator Collins is discussing her neurological condition publicly. Our NBC 10's Glenn Jones reports.
A few weeks ago, after Senator Susan Collins shoveled ceremonial dirt to break ground on a new firehouse in Sanford, our affiliate in Maine asked her at age 73 about her health and energy. She pointed to her streak, nearly 10,000 consecutive votes, not one sick day in 30 years.
Anyone who follows me around the state would also not have any questions about that.
But if you've watched Collins over the years, you may have noticed a slight trembling in her hands and her head. Now, for the first time, the senator is publicly describing her medical condition in an exclusive interview.
What I have is an extremely common condition that is called a benign essential tremor. I have had it for the entire time that I've served in the United States Senate.
Collins is confident, if elected again in November, in her ability to serve another 6 years. Glenn Jones, NBC 10 Boston.
Meanwhile, 40.
That was Glenn Jones of NBC 10 Boston. Thank you for reporting on that story for us. Again, that was Boston Senator Susan Collins revealing that piece of news. We did have some big news happen while we were away. The big three, two which we won't be discussing today because they're a little bit outdated, but the top three are that Spirit Airlines suddenly closed after their final chapter of bankruptcy has cleared. They cleared at 3 a.m. in the morning, sometime last week, right in the middle when flights were happening. Of course, pilots and workers with Spirit Airlines were stunned. Travelers were scrambling. So that was the one main story. Two, Rudy Giuliani, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani has been now released after a long hospitalization due to an unknown illness that he had. And the third most, I wouldn't want to say popular, but the third biggest thing that happened that we will be covering today is the CEO of CNN, Ted Turner, who also created other networks like Cartoon Network, TNT, and TBS, popular movie channels, has died at the age of 82. Now, I do want to explain some stuff with how we cover this big of something, especially when it deals with a big news corporation. I select each one of the stories that will be put to air. Now, for this one, we didn't really want to focus, we only wanted to focus on the general news story, the public's reaction, and just general information about what he was like. We did not want to lean towards big news corporations, even though CNN is a big news corporation. We did not want to lean towards big news corporations like ABC, CBS, NBC, and CNN for this case, because they might provide more information about how he was than about the general story. So we have of course, I enjoy like local stations reporting on things. This was, of course, a big story. We like to either keep it local or with accurate information. From all of this, I did end up choosing KTLA 5 News, which will be reporting on this story anyway. To repeat, the CNN founder and founder of multiple other channels, including TNT, TBS, and Cartoon Network, but most notably known for CNN, Ted Turner, the creator of the cable news network, has died at the age of 82. For more information on just the general gist, here's KTLA 5.
The trailblazer who launched CNN back in 1980, transforming the landscape of TV news, has died.
Media mogul Ted Turner passed away at his home in Florida at the age of 87. News Nation correspondent Nicole Burley takes a look back at a remarkable life.
I dedicate the news channel for America, the cable news network.
Ted Turner founded the first 24-hour cable news channel, CNN, in 1980. Born in Ohio in 1938, he was the oldest of 9 children. Turner began his media empire in 1963, at the age of 24, when he took over his father's billboard business, Turner Advertising, after his father's suicide. He later bought several radio and television stations and renamed the company Turner Broadcasting System. In addition to CNN, Turner created TNT, TBS, and Cartoon Network. At one point, he was named Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
I made the cover of Success Magazine. I held a copy up to Dad and said, "Dad, is that enough? I'm on the cover of Success Magazine."
That same year, he and actress Jane Fonda began their 10-year marriage. He received a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, and under his ownership, the Atlanta Braves won the 1995 World Series.
The team of the 90s has its World Championship.
But his fortune took a turn after he sold Turner Broadcasting to Time Warner. In 2001, Time Warner merged with AOL in what's now known as the worst merger in history.
One of the worst mistakes that's ever been made in business. We went into it half-cocked and unprepared. And that's something you don't want to do on a merger of that consequence.
Within a few months, the economy fell into a recession and the dot-com bubble burst. Turner estimated he lost about $8 billion, or 80% of his wealth. And that's when he began to focus on his philanthropy. As the second largest individual landholder in North America with 2 million acres, through conservation and preservation efforts, Turner helped bring back the North American bison, the Bolson tortoise, and the Mexican wolf. This active lifestyle on the ranch helped with his Lewy body dementia, with which he was diagnosed right before he turned 80 years old.
It's a mild case of what people have as Alzheimer's. It's similar to that, but not nearly as bad. Alzheimer's is fatal. Thank goodness that I don't have that. But I also got I can't remember the name of it.
That's all right. Tell me what the...
It's dementia. I can't remember what my disease is.
In a letter, Turner explains his passion for giving. Quote, "If I had to live my life over, the one thing I would not change is my charitable giving," which included his historic pledge of $1 billion to the United Nations, creating the Nuclear Threat Initiative, and protecting the climate.
If we can find just a few people that are willing to do half of what Ted has done, we will have made yet another contribution to arresting the extinction crisis, which is truly profound.
That was KTLA 5 News reporting on that story. Thank you. And I did make a mistake again. I apologize, Ted Turner. Just so that the mini videos could pick up on this. And just to tell you in general, the Ted Turner, the founder of the cable news network CNN, whom of which also created channels like TBS, TNT, TCM, and Cartoon Network, has died at the age of 87. Once again, Ted Turner, founder of the cable news network CNN, also created channels such as TBS, TNT, TCM, and Cartoon Network, has died at the age of 87. Okay, now to our next story. Coming out of Los Angeles. Los Angeles Police Department officer, an LAPD officer, has been found not liable after a shooting, after an accidental shooting of a Los Angeles girl outside of a Burlington store. For more information on this piece of news, here is NBC4 Los Angeles.
A jury found an LAPD officer is not liable in a North Hollywood shooting that killed a teen girl in 2021. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Valentina Peralta was in a changing room inside a Burlington coat factory when a stray bullet from the officer's gun pierced the wall. NBC4's Camila Rambaldi is live in Burbank with the latest on the verdict and reaction. Camila.
Hi, Annabelle. This is a story that we have been following for years, and today a jury has made its decision in this civil trial, as you mentioned, finding that LAPD officer who fired his gun not negligent in this case. And this means that the family lost, as well as the $100 million in damages that they were seeking. The family did not speak today, but we did hear from their attorney, who told us that the family is shattered following today's verdict. Let's go ahead and get you to some video from this morning when the verdict was being read.
Was Officer Jones negligent? Answer, no.
Members of the jury.
It was after 10 this morning when the jury came back with a verdict. Deliberation started late in the afternoon on Tuesday. In 2021, 14-year-old Valentina Peralta was inside a North Hollywood Burlington store changing room trying on dresses with her mother when police gunfire went off. Several LAPD officers were inside the store looking for a man who had attacked two women with a bike lock, and that's when one of the officers opened fire. Those shots killed the man police were searching for and the teen girl. One of those bullets had pierced through the dressing room wall she was in. Officer Williams Jones testified during the trial, saying that he had fired his rifle 3 times. The family's legal team was seeking $100 million in the teen's parents' wrongful death lawsuit against the city and the LAPD. Nick Rowley said the family also wanted accountability. In a statement back in 2021, the LAPD had said officers didn't know that someone was inside that dressing room. Here's Nick Rowley, the attorney for the Peralta family, who shared his reaction with our team on the verdict. We also spoke with legal analyst Royal Oakes, who weighed in on the jury's decision.
So we lost. I don't lose very often, but the times that I have, I can understand it. I can't understand this one. I don't get it.
The family is, of course, free to appeal this decision, but it's an uphill battle. When you have an officer-involved shooting, juries don't like the whole hindsight test. They like to give the benefit of the doubt to the officer. And where it was reported to officers that there was a man with a gun, it's really difficult to get a jury to vote against the police.
In 2024, Attorney General Bonta decided that no criminal charges would be filed against Officer Jones. He added the evidence shows he believed the officer was acting in self-defense or in the defense of others. We also reached out to both the city and the LAPD today, asking if they ever tried to settle. The LAPD told us they don't have a statement at this time. We're still waiting to hear back from the city. And coming up right here at 4:30, we will hear more from the family's attorney and what he says are the family's next steps. For now, we're live in Burbank. Camila Rambaldi, NBC4 News.
Camila.
Okay, that was hello. That was Camilla Rambaldi from NBC4 News. We will try and get that other piece of news that she mentioned, the other interview. So you may see that tonight on AJ&E Evening News. Okay, on to our next story. After a search warrant has been served in the Kristen Smart case. With more information on this story is an affiliate of NBC6 News that has more information about what they found in the results of the search warrant.
We begin tonight with new developments in the disappearance of Cal Poly student Kristen Smart. This morning, authorities with the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant at the Arroyo Grande home of Susan Flores, the mother of convicted killer Paul Flores. And we just got word from officials that they will be back at the home tomorrow to continue their investigation. Smart first disappeared on May 25th, 1996, while she was walking home from an off-campus party. Investigators say she was last seen with Paul Flores that night. Flores is serving a 25 years to life sentence for her murder following his conviction in 2022. A KSBY crew was on the scene today as authorities issued a new search warrant at the home of Paul Flores' mother.
A new search warrant served as part of Kristen Smart's disappearance nearly 30 years ago. I'm community reporter Carson Wells here on East Branch Street in Arroyo Grande, where Wednesday authorities were at the home of Susan Flores. This most recent search comes just 3 years after her son was sentenced for the murder of the Cal Poly freshman. Shortly after the sun came up Wednesday morning, the mother of Paul Flores was served with a search warrant at her Arroyo Grande home. In this video shot by a neighbor, Susan Flores can be seen driving away from the property shortly after 8 a.m. I arrived on scene minutes later to find the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office inside the home and investigators also going back and forth between the front and backyards of the Branch Street property. The Sheriff's Office confirmed the search was connected to Kristen Smart's 1996 disappearance, adding, quote, "The Sheriff's Office remains committed to bringing Kristen home to her family," end quote. Throughout the morning, neighbors and other community members gathered across the street, all waiting for an update on the investigation.
I hope today's the day that we can take Kristen home to the family. Her mom deserves this. And what a better Mother's Day gift. And I just feel that God's working here.
We just want justice for sure for her. We want the family to have justice and everything too.
While out in front of the home on Wednesday, other neighbors told me Susan is a good neighbor, but added that people drive by daily, honking and yelling. I also visited with Flores' next-door neighbors. They were not comfortable going on camera, but shared with me that they were also served with a search warrant Wednesday for their backyard, which shares a fence line with the Flores home. The couple tells me they moved into the home 2 years ago, and as part of their lease, they had to agree to cooperate with any Kristen Smart law enforcement-related investigations at the home. As the search went on, a team with a ground-penetrating radar scanned the property, and what sounded like drilling could be heard coming from the backyard. The Sheriff's Office has not said when any results from today's search would be released. In Arroyo Grande, Carson Wells, KSBY News.
That was KSBY News reporting on that story. That was an affiliate of NBC6 News reporting on that story. Kristen, thank you. Now, we are on 2 stories left now. Anyway, federal investigators from the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, have officially seized millions of drugs and millions of dollars worth of drugs in a drug cartel incident. For more information on this story, here is Fox News.
Federal agents conducting a massive raid in Los Angeles, targeting what is described as just an open-air drug market. Matt Finn, very familiar with this area of Los Angeles. He has the details. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Dana. MacArthur Park is supposed to be a family park, but it's known for brazen drug use, and two gangs fight for control of it, MS-13 and their rival 18th Street Gang. I went to the historic park yesterday, just hours before the federal raid. I saw people getting high, and all around were people apparently doing what's called the fentanyl fold, when people's bodies fold in half while on fentanyl. I also saw a young man hit the ground, go unconscious. He was revived by LA homeless workers who told him he overdosed, and they left him with boxes of Narcan. Now, shortly after that, 300 federal and local agents stormed the area. They cleared the park. They cut locks on storefronts where drug dealers allegedly stashed product, 6 businesses in total. The DEA tells me they did a 2-month undercover investigation and determined the Sinaloa cartel brings fentanyl and meth into Los Angeles, and it's sold and distributed from the park. 25 people are federally charged, including a female ringleader and her boyfriend associated with the 18th Street Gang. Now, in one stash house alone, 40 pounds of fentanyl was recovered. Street value $8 to $10 million, the equivalent of 190,000 potentially fatal doses.
We're here today because California policies have failed. The policies of California to just let people use drugs open and notoriously with little to no criminal consequences is a failed experiment.
Now, this massive bust came just hours before a debate in the LA mayor's race, where each candidate, including current mayor Karen Bass, was asked yes or no on whether they would keep LA's program that hands out clean needles to users.
It's run by the city, run needle program.
Right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Councilmember Rahman?
No.
Mr. Pratt?
Absolutely no needles and pipes for drug addicts on the street.
And as far as addicts on the street, the feds claim they're going to keep a law enforcement presence at this park. They say their guns are bigger than the drug dealers. Dana, Bill.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the...
All right, that was Fox News reporting on that story. Thank you. Quite surprising at how some specific drug cartels end up working, whether if it's online or in person. Drug dealing is just not good, but it's unfortunately risen in today's society. Anyway, we are on our last story. A California man, a Los Angeles man, excuse me, let me start that again. A Los Angeles man has been charged with labor trafficking after being targeted for his online resale business. For more information on this story, here's CBS News Los Angeles.
A child trafficking case in Crescenta Valley. A middle schooler taken, drugged, and forced to sort clothes to sell online. Tonight, the man accused has been arraigned.
And CBS LA assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk for us. And Mike, you worked this story nearly a year ago when the alleged crime happened.
Yeah, you know, Juan and Rudabay, this was such a bizarre case to us. Originally, when it came out, it was a family that had been looking for their child who had gone missing, was gone for 72 hours, and then just kind of reappeared. Well, tonight, the DA's office says he was actually taken by a man, taken to a motel room, and forced to sort clothes while on Adderall to keep him working throughout the night. This is the man they accuse of doing it. They say the man met the child at a thrift store a couple of months prior to abducting him. Now, the man has been charged with trafficking as well as child stealing because there was no force involved in it, which would have made it a kidnapping case. But in this situation, the DA's office says over the course of 3 days, he brought him to a motel room, forced him to sort these clothes to be able to sell online, forced him to take Adderall to keep him working through the night to get the job done. Then they say the man allegedly stole the kid's phone so he couldn't call his parents for help before dumping him in the middle of a freeway before he was finally found and brought back to his family. Now, this case is something that's been going through the DA's office for about a year now. As I mentioned, the original alleged kidnapping happened over a course of 3 days, May 2nd through the 5th of last year of 2025. But just today, he was arraigned on several counts, including the fact that he allegedly forced the child to work into the overnight hours, forced him to take those drugs. As I mentioned, he does face a very long time in state prison if convicted on these charges. But a really weird situation here, a situation where a middle school aged boy met this guy at a thrift store, and then the guy allegedly takes him, forces him to work in a motel for 3 days, all while hopping him up on Adderall and not letting him call his parents by taking his phone. By the way, the DA's office says the guy also took all the kids' jewelry and sold it at a pawn shop. The DA's office says much of that jewelry were family hand-me-downs or heirlooms that were given to the boy. So a very strange case here. The boy is safe now, and the man accused of all of this is being charged. We should also point out that when we first reported the story, a woman was also arrested in this case, but her case was dropped due to insufficient evidence against her. Guys?
Okay.
Okay, that was one of the assistant chief editors from CBS News Los Angeles. Mike, thank you for reporting on that story. And that, once again, will conclude the newscast. If we see anything about that other case, about the family's reaction to the Los Angeles case, we will bring that to you. But once again, we are very proud for all of the news organizations that were on today's program. They will get credit where they deserve. For now, I'm AJ Baker, and have a wonderful afternoon.